Hey everyone, Trevor Zeus here. Welcome back to another video. And guys, today we have another episode of the Q&A series, and episode 17, I think it is. Guys, it's been a short time since the last episode premiered, and I kind of want to apologize for that. I've been preoccupied with other videos and kind of pushing other videos in front of this. So we're back. I'm going to try and get back on the horse and try to do these a bit more regularly. But with that being said, I do want to point out that this episode's probably going to be a little bit smaller than most. At the end of the video, I do want to kind of go over a couple updates, a couple things right there. And yeah, with that being said, basically this series is a Q&A series. I ask you guys to leave comments relating to Lego Star Wars, and each week I try my best to answer them the best as I can. So, with that being said, let's get on to the first question. First question of the week comes from Chief Tarful. He asks, that Camino mock in the back is looking spicy. Appreciate that. And what is your favorite Clone Wars character and or arc in the TV show? So, I'm going to give it like a top 3 because of the fact that there's a lot of characters I do enjoy in the Clone Wars, as well as there's a lot of arcs that I really like as well. For characters, I'm probably going to have to pick Captain Rex, maybe ARC Trooper 5s, and I guess the third one would probably have to be either between Obi-Wan or Anakin Skywalker in the show. Anakin and Obi-Wan in that show I actually really enjoyed. I like the characteristics in their character, of course, as well as really cool to see like Obi-Wan and Anakin not fighting like in the prequels, but like actually doing stuff together, fighting alongside one another. And I just enjoyed their characters, and that's kind of why I put them as kind of half and half in my third bar. Second would be 5s or ARC Trooper 5s. He's one of my favorite clone troopers, and I just think his character is super cool. I thought he was awesome alongside with Echo, and I just feel like 5s is one of my favorites. Now, of course, number 1 is going to have to go to Captain Rex because of the fact that, well, it's Captain Rex. What do you expect? He's like the coolest clone in my opinion, because other than him leading the 501st Clone Battalion, he just is such an awesome clone, as well as, you know, his character develops really nicely throughout the Clone Wars series, as well as into Rebels and whatnot. So Captain Rex would have to be my number 1 favorite from the Clone Wars. Now, to answer your arc question, basically episodes that had like 3 episodes in it, or at least more than 1 episode. Number 3 would probably be the Geonosis arc. Basically, I think it was in season 1. I think either season 1 or season 2. And basically, the Battle of Geonosis, the second go about it. And I don't know, I really liked that series, getting to see the clones and the Jedi trying to fight on Geonosis for a second time, trying to destroy the droid factories for real this time, make sure that they don't do an uprise again. And overall, the whole arc was really nice in my opinion. I love seeing the gigantic battle, because the Battle of Geonosis is one of my favorite battles, and getting to see that in the Clone Wars and seeing all these epic battle shots is definitely going to be my number 3. Number 2 would probably be the battle or the arc of Ryloth. I thought that was a really cool arc as well, because it was cool to see, like, oh, you got this planet of Twi'leks kind of overrun by the Separatists. You've got this Separatist, I was about to say Dreadnought, but the Separatists capital kind of covering the planets, making sure that they don't get any supplies from the Republic or anything like that. You've got the Twi'leks kind of like revolting against the Republic, saying, oh, maybe these guys aren't as great as they are. And you get to see these really awesome space battles, as well as on the ground. You get to see the arc with Waxer and Boyle. I thought that was really cool to see. And overall, I felt like the Ryloth story was really nice, and definitely has to be at number 2. And of course, number 1, why wouldn't it be the arc of Umbara? And I don't really have to give my reasons for it, but honestly, I feel like the arc of Umbara, or Umbara, however you pronounce it, it's just one of the coolest things in my opinion, because of the fact you get to see the grittiness of the war and stuff like that. It's not droids versus clones, or clones versus the Umbaras, and basically they go through this whole messy planet. It's a really dark planet, very dangerous as well, and you get to see it like, holy crap, this Jedi who's betraying and sending these troops into battle, and his whole goal is to get these clones dead and to kill all these clones, which is pretty sad, because you get to see like, oh my goodness, this is awesome. These are all the 501st clones. You get to see Rex, 5s, Hardcase, Jesse, Kix, all the 501st, and you get to see like, holy crap, this Jedi who's supposed to protect them, be their general, is actually leading them into, you know, death. So I thought it was a really cool story. I like the arc, as well as you get to see Captain Rex's character develop. Like, you know, maybe my order shouldn't stand with this Jedi. Maybe I should actually think a bit on my own. So I don't know. I felt like that was definitely going to be my #1 pick for the arc in the Clone Wars. Now, with that being said, next and final question comes from Imperial Bricks Productions. He asks, this might be a complicated question, but what is the most complicated technique you've ever used in a MOC? So, this is kind of complicated because of the fact that I've technically only done 2 large-scale MOCs, one being Hoth and one being the recent MOC Camino. Now, I have done some smaller projects with my Arkham builds and a couple projects that haven't been released just yet. But I guess the most difficult part I've been found is basically getting like cylinder or circular look in Lego. As you guys know, that's not an easy thing because of the fact that, you know, Lego is squares. There's not many circles in Lego, as well as trying to get it a spherical look, especially with those pillars that I used for Camino. That was not easy. I had to go through a bunch of designs trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this? How do I get this actual circle correct without any issues and stuff like that? And I finally found a design with it. As well, it kind of made it difficult, especially when it came to the platform and the ring around it. It's very difficult in my opinion, at least in my again, in my opinion. I feel like building circles and building like high circular pillars and platforms and stuff like that is a bit difficult, especially when it comes to, you have to make sure the rim looks nice, you have to have wedges kind of connect each other, that way, you know, it just doesn't look like there's too many gaps and stuff like that. And it is quite difficult in my opinion. That's probably the hardest thing I've come into with Lego. The rest isn't terrible. I guess mountain work when I was working on Hoth was annoying, but other than that, Hoth was pretty simple because of the fact that the train was pretty nice, and I really liked how that came out, and it wasn't really complicated. And the rest of the build wasn't too overly complicated to the point where I felt like the techniques used were too difficult. Camino has that issue because of the fact that everything is built on stilts, and has that issue because of the fact that, you know, everything's on a stilt, everything's higher. I have to make sure that everything connects correctly without being, you know, falling over or something like that. So probably getting cylinders or circular items built is probably the most difficult, and at least in my taste so far with my MOCs that are being worked on. Now, that was the last question. Sadly, the last update didn't get too many questions, which isn't that big of a deal. But I did want to go over a couple things before I end off the video, and that is a kind of update. For those of you who are curious what happened in last week's episode, I was basically busy with a couple things and parts just didn't come in. I'm still waiting on like 1 or 2 orders to get in to actually work on stuff. I'm trying to work on that last pillar, get that finished, but there's just 1 order that I'm missing. So I decided to wait for it so I can actually have a episode that's worth watching, not just kind of a filler episode. As well as I've got some awesome news for a upcoming series that I'm hoping to start at the end of January or the beginning of February, roughly around that time, and that is the minifig wall. So I've been kind of teasing and hinting about starting this up a while back, but basically what my goal is to actually start up the minifig wall. For those of you guys know who Jay, or Rich Boy Jay, he actually has his own minifig wall. I really was inspired by that because of the fact that currently my figures stand in bags and stuff like that, and boxes, and I really don't like that. I don't like how they look in the bags, and you know, I like these minifigures. I'd like to display them. So I think the best in my case would be a minifig wall. I actually order everything that I need, so I have all the parts to have it in place, the base plates, the figures, of course, as well as the tape to hang it up. So I have everything ready to go. The only thing is I have to move a couple things before I can actually start it up, because currently the space that I'm wanting to use is actually preoccupied by the AT-AT. So I need to move that thing over before I actually start the series, but I'm actually really excited. I want to know what you guys think of the idea of doing a minifig wall. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. Just quick update as to the Q&A series. So that being said, hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions relating to Lego Star Wars, or any MOC related questions, definitely leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get to them next week or in the next update. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.